Unreal city. Unreal city is, of course, London. Earlier in line 60, Eliot had used the same terminology and he had spoken about the crowds flowing over London Bridge. A crowd flowed over London Bridge, so many. I had not thought death had undone so many. Under the brown fog of a winter noon. On the earlier occasion, the poet had written, under the brown fog of a winter dawn. I think smog would have been better. Smoke and fog. Smog is a combination of smoke and fog. And all cities, including the city of Trivandrum, are suffering from a smog problem. There is the saying, the London smog is not the British weather. Now the question arises, why does Eliot use the term unreal city for London? First of all, in 1921, Eliot saw a London devastated by the First World War. That is the first reason. The second reason is that London is populated by hollow men, by men of straw. The third reason could be that Eliot feels that London is attractive, London is impressive from afar, but a close-up shot reveals that London is hell. Probably when he was in the United States, Eliot was fascinated by London. And it was this fascination that prompted him to cross the Atlantic. But now the fascination has come to an end and he realizes that London is indeed unreal city. The fourth reading, the fourth interpretation is an autobiographical interpretation. In 1921, when Eliot was writing The Wasteland, he was recovering from a psychological breakdown. A person who suffers from a psychological breakdown does not have a close grip over reality. And hence, to his eyes, London appeared to be unreal city. Finally, it can be argued that London is a city of affectations. London is a city of falsehood. London is a city of pretensions. If any city can be unreal city, it most certainly is the city of London. Mr. Eugenides is the Smyrna merchant. Smyrna was an ancient city on the west coast of Asia Minor. It was well known as a trading center. Currants are dried fruits. Demotic French is colloquial French. Is the French spoken by ordinary people in everyday life. An invitation is offered to lunch at the Cannon Street Hotel, followed by a weekend at the Metropole. The Cannon Street Hotel, as well as the Metropole, were hotbeds of homosexuality. in the years immediately following the Great War. Now the question is, to whom have the invitations been served by the Smyrna merchant? The most obvious answer is that they have been served to Tiresias. And Tiresias, quite conveniently for the Smyrna merchant, is bisexual. So the Smyrna merchant has indeed served invitations to spend time at the Cannon Street Hotel and at the Metropole, which are centers of homosexuality, to the right person, Tiresias. In the next stanza, Tiresias is mentioned. As I keep on saying, Tiresias is a constant presence in the poem. He is beyond sex and gender. He is beyond country and region. He is beyond language and dialect. He is beyond age and period. He is beyond culture and civilization. He is omnipresent and omniscient. And it is through him that we absorb the wasteland. If there is no Tiresias, there is no poem called The Wasteland. In this stanza, we observe through Tiresias, who observes himself, the encounter between the clerk and the typist. It is evening, and the female typist returns home. We get pictures of her wretched flat, untidy, cluttered, dirty, and we get pictures of her precarious existence. The clerk is a small house agent's clerk. He's the young man carbuncular. A carbuncle is a boil filled with pus. Here is a young man whose face is filled with carbuncles. The poet makes it clear that the clerk is in no way attractive. In fact, he only evokes our revulsion. Looking for an opportunity, he decides that the moment is propitious when she has ended her meal and is bored and tired. She does not reject his advances, and he assaults her. I have to make it clear that the typist, the female typist, neither accepts the lovemaking of the clerk nor rejects it. This is the archetypal attitude of the wastelander. The lovemaking is mechanical. It is as if animals are mating. And after the lovemaking, the so-called lovemaking, which is only something on the very lowest physical level, is over, the clerk finds his way down the stairs, and as the stairs are not lighted, he gropes his way down the stairs. The stanza reveals the shocking truth that in the wasteland, sex has become artificial. Sex has become mechanical. Human sex has become animal sex. There is nothing elevated, nothing spiritual, nothing noble, nothing even emotional about sex. Sex has become just the interaction of bodies. It is no longer the union of hearts. It is no longer the merger of souls.